Welcome everyone. My name is Tracy Slav. I'm an intern assistant at Weber International University and the head strength coach for golf, men's and women's. Today I'm going to be talking about spring semester of 2016 for men's and women's golf. Going over the goals for the semester: muscular balance, injury prevention, mobility, stability, core strength and power. The main reason for the muscular balance are both men's and women's would get out to the course multiple times a week. Being down here in Florida, we have the access to the beautiful weather. Muscular balance, we're highlighting the muscles that don't get activated from practice and tournaments. So a lot of that has to do with some upper body, and obviously with their dominant side always swinging clubs, we're focusing this semester on non-dominant core rotation. For injury prevention, a lot of it has to do with shoulder, wrist mobility, and trunk, thoracic spine mobility and injury prevention. Their golf stance puts a lot of pressure on their lower back, and a lot of times that is the most common injury with golf. Hip mobility. We've had some golfers with tight hips. And then core strength and power, using anti-rotation and ab work, and with overall power, med ball throws, and progressions of Olympic lifts. The type of periodization we used was linear. We tested in the fall semester for deadlift, but we didn't have any squat max numbers. Used just a simple subtraction in 50 pounds from their deadlift max to come up with their squat max. Wasn't totally accurate. Some of it was for some athletes, but others, they were much higher than that. Starting off the semester with moderate volume and moderate intensity, moving towards lower volume and higher intensity. Try to keep balance, again focusing on that muscular balance of proper horizontal and vertical pushes and pulls, using single leg exercises when necessary. Try to do that at least once a week, and definitely getting lower body strength with both the anterior and posterior of the legs. Getting into the mesocycles, the first 4 weeks there were maybe one golf tournament, but I consider it the preseason. It wasn't a very important one. It was almost a scrimmage, actually. Introduced the progression of the hang clean. We started off with the power shrug, getting the derived power from their feet and transfer that all the way up through their body. Definitely focusing on proper technique all throughout the semester, but making the proper importance of it early in the semester. Again, like I said, moderate volume, moderate intensity to start off, and the auxiliary focus was on muscular balance. As you can see here, we're in the power phase. Switch over to the annual plan here. Getting right in here, there's the first 4 weeks. About the start of February is when we started our power phase. As you can see, there's many tournaments in this month here of February. These are kind of the percentages. Not every week or not every workout card that we had percentages for the athletes, but this was about the relative intensities that I wanted for them in this power phase. And these are relative reps for just the primary exercises. The accessory work had a little bit higher rep ranges and just as many sets. So going back now, in the power phase, weeks 5 through 8, main focus for the primaries was rate of force production. Again, getting more experience with Olympic lifts with that low volume, high intensity as you would do with Olympic lifts. We did a lot of mobility work and injury prevention work in the auxiliary focus. For accessory work, definitely in the in-season now. This was a little different here. This is wrong, but we didn't do week 9 testing. We pushed that back to the end of the season so that there was better numbers for that and there was no potential for injuries there. But this is what we were testing. We did do the med ball side toss, both dominant rotation, non-dominant rotation. We did barbell deadlift for 3 reps, vert, and then we did a shoulder mobility test. We did not do the balance, which we did last semester, or the shuttle. Okay. Moving on, here we're getting into March. It's 3 weeks here. Low volume, high intensity. Again, we're getting into the heart of the season, trying to get them primed and ready to go. Continued focus on prehab and injury prevention, mobility, as far as the accessory work goes. There was a pretty major tournament in week 12 where we did some active recovery for just the travelers. The non-travelers did the regular workout. The travelers did some activation and mobility work with stretches. Back to power here. Low volume, high intensity. Again, rate of force development. And we were full swing into hang cleans. We didn't actually get to the full clean, but we did do hang clean high pulls. I did not feel comfortable with them with the wrist going all the way into the full hang clean. That concluded out the semester. We had testing, which would have been week 16, and then we have some summer work after that. This was kind of the setup per week. We have session 1 on Monday or Tuesday, session 2 on Thursday, Friday. These were the focuses here. Lower body focus with accessory work on Monday, Tuesday, session 1. Upper body focus on Thursday, Friday, session 2. On a typical workout, this would be the setup, dynamic warm-up. We'd roll right into prehab, our power primary, strength primary with accessory, and that would be superset. And we'd have a 3 exercise superset with accessory work, and then if there's time, a core finisher and foam rolling. We tried to get some sort of single leg focus on each session. That didn't always be the case. Each week, as you can see here, getting into the January, February, we did do some. This is my old workout card. This old workout card actually had the dynamic warm-up and what we did. All right here, day 1, day 2, week 1 right here, week 2 right here. So we had the hang clean high pull. This is week 3 and 4. Here's week 1 and 2. Led right off with the power shrug. Okay. Here's where we get our single leg stuff. Unilateral single leg RDLs with dumbbells. Our upper body vertical press. Horizontal pull. Vertical pull, and lower body press. All right. Now this bottom stuff here, strength block 3, was definitely optional, and if we could even fit it in with time. Day 1 of this little mesocycle, we'd have 2 focuses on grip, 1 with abs. Day 2 was 2 focuses on abs and 1 on grip, and that continued over into weeks 3 and 4 of this. Okay. Moving into February here, as you can see we have some different setup here. I wasn't able to fit the dynamic warm-up on the card. We did some CNS activation, some dynamic stretching, all before we got into the prehab. Now, I've gotten quite a few of these prehab exercises from the Titleist Performance Institute website. If you're looking into men's and women's golf and you're the strength coach, I would highly recommend looking at the TPI website. They have some great exercises. Here we go with our med ball work for power. As you can see, increasing volume right here as the weeks go on. And then we still had our Olympic variation on the day 2, increasing volume with that. We have our lower body primary superset with our upper body accessory, which was a dumbbell chest fly, and then just the reverse of that on day 2. Our anti-rotation, working on that muscular balance. Our unilateral with the rear foot elevated, almost like a Bulgarian split squat. And then our horizontal pull. We did do some metabolics here. Still a core exercise, matching this one with the Pallof press. Core exercise with the metabolic side slams. We have our unilateral, and then we have our vertical pull. All right. This went into about the first week of March. As we get into March, again, this is a 4-week program, mesocycle here. Our power, banded squat jumps, band resisted squat jumps, primary with a goblet squat for primary day 2, horizontal pull, horizontal push. So we're keeping the balance there. And we started getting into a little bit less weightlifting exercises and some more core exercises for the accessory work. So we have obliques and regular abs, and lower abs. Okay, so we're still trying to keep some muscular balance there. Going up here, again, we have some of the same prehab exercises from February. I really like the A-frame stretch here. I think dowel rods is a great way to improve shoulder mobility. You can use PVC pipe for that, or just a dowel rod broomstick. Okay. Shoulder mobility here, rear back stretch, upper back stretch. All right, we have some activation, some shoulder mobility, some glute activation, core stability as well, thoracic mobility, and then working on those hip mobility with that. Okay. As we look back at the annual plan, kind of going back and forth between strength and speed here, but power, strength, power. Major tournaments here, so we want them training residuals from strength here as it's in the strength cycle, and then with that 4 weeks, we're hoping that the training residual for strength would be carrying over into the power section here. All right. So moving on, a little bit of performance here. So as you can see, med ball side toss. This is the men's team. This is the women's team. Everyone improved. It's a good sign. Moving down here, the average distance that they improved on was about 9 feet for the men and almost 7 feet for the women. All right, that's huge. We used the 10-pound med ball. It's directly relatable to golf with a med ball side toss. Almost everyone improved except for one person who did not. Stayed the same on 3-rep max deadlift. Vert, not a whole lot of people that didn't improve. 3 men didn't improve. The women, not as much. We had a 1-inch here though, improvement. Now this may look like it was unsuccessful right here with the shoulder mobility test. If you take a look at it, there's one person, 2, 3, only 4 people did not improve in some aspect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people improved with shoulder mobility in some aspect. Alright. Women, not as much. Could be the fact that they already have increased range of motion with their shoulders, perhaps put on some muscle and decrease their shoulder mobility. It's up for debate, but that could be a point. Could be some correlation there. I know as we go back here, kind of see where we improved on. Rate of force development. So we got them deadlifting more, but we got them also throwing the med ball sideways a lot further. Between the two teams, about 8.5 feet improvements. With injury prevention here, we had hardly any injuries occur in the weight room. A lot of them happen to be from golf or waking up wrong with some back tightness. I'd say overall we improved from last semester as far as injury prevention. No one really stayed tight or sore for more than about 3 weeks. Core strength and power, clearly with the testing results, we've improved on that. Muscular balance, as you saw, their non-dominant med ball side toss rotation improved almost just as much as the dominant side. Alright. So that's kind of what we did this semester with the men's and women's golf team here at Weber International University. Thank you guys for the time to take a look at this. Appreciate that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.